to welcome you once again to the SCORE Business Showcase. Welcome. All right, we have a fantastic lineup for us today. Matter of fact, we have my son, all right, Stephen Paul Jr., and he's with Tri-State Direct, and also his assistant and partner, Walter, correct? Walton, sorry about that. All right, welcome, Steve.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, very good, very good. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself as far as your business is concerned. How would you describe your business?
Well, that's a great question. Tri-State Direct is a marketing company. We're actually focused on various avenues on how we can actually save people money on their monthly expenses. So we look at it in a totality value where we do a cost assessment to find out what they're paying on their cable costs, their energy costs, cellular needs. If they're homeowners or renters, we go through an entire accounting just so then we can actually offer a cost-saving solution that fixes the problems that they may not even know that's actually available.
Mm-hmm. All right. Would you second that motion?
Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. Well, you know, that's great. I'm sure that a lot of people, especially homeowners, are looking to save money and cut their costs in many areas. Now, what led you to get into this particular line of work?
Well, I mean, we both have had extensive sales backgrounds. I started back my first job was actually in sales. You know, at 16, I was working in the mall selling women's shoes, making $4.27 an hour and 2% commission. I got that commission check, and it really changed my life, and I've seen the power of a sales opportunity. So when I found direct marketing, it just made sense to be able to offer a person a cost-saving solution that's going to bring more value to the table, help them improve their budget cap, and be able to have almost an improvement in services as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you find is the biggest challenge in actually what you do?
There are a couple of challenges. I mean,
yeah, I think the biggest challenge, what we try to do is focus on who our client is. You know, our client is really the consumer, but we work with a lot of major companies like Fortune 500 companies from telecom and energy. Our focus is actually the consumer. We want to make sure that we're giving you the best value for what you're doing. So our major challenge is making sure when we're working with these vendors that they're giving us the right prices, the right products that we can really help our clients out.
And that was one of my questions, actually. Who particularly, as far as your consumer is concerned, is your target market?
Yes. Our target market, previously, it was just residential clients, and it was homeowners and renters. Our companies, we put ourselves in a position where we can help everyone. Now, as we're expanding, which Mr. Geyer really leads our sales and our sales strategies, we're trying to now, and not trying, what we're doing is adding in a commercial aspect. So we don't want to leave anyone out from being able to take advantage of savings.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Now, which products or offers the best value for your customer base?
Well, it's an interesting question because we look at each individual person because let's say we come across a family of 5. You know, they're renters. They have 5 lines of cell phones. They're paying $275, but don't really watch TV. They have internet. So we look at to see a cell phone plan might be actually better for them. For a homeowner that's elderly couple owns a home, great sun exposure, but they're not really watching TV, and they have they just use a landline. Solar would be a better opportunity for them. So we look at each individual person and how they operate and how they use their services to really have a better understanding of what we're going to offer them for their solution.
And I want to say, a lot of times too, we can go into homes. It's not just a one-time thing. You go into a home, you get their energy, their telecommunication, just their insurance and things that they're using. You're looking at all their rates are very, I would say, not competitive in the market.
Right.
Some people are older, they're getting these rates 20 years and they're just paying these monthly bills. And some people are just naive about what's in the market. So that's why, bigger than anything of just helping a person in terms of saving you money, we want to educate you on what's really happening in the market and how for the future you can take advantage of us. Take advantage of what's in the market.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you find it that the consumer is confused with so many things out there? What are the challenges?
Absolutely. Because, I mean, there's so many different things. There's so many different marketing employees. There's so many different advertisements where it's just, people are just inundated with information. You know, you really need a specialist that has a clear understanding of what all the competitors are, and then also disseminate how they're using what they're using. You know, because some people have, you know, situations that they're not even taking advantage of and they're overpaying for it. So it just has a better, once you have a clear-cut understanding of what they're looking to accomplish, what their budget needs are, then we have a clear-cut path on how we can actually help them the most.
Now, do you do a printout like for graphics to show them, or how does that work?
Absolutely. We have digital proposals, different standards and graphs, so then people can see where they're at currently to where they can be with the new products and services.
Now, one of the things I know we had talked about before, as far as solar is concerned, where's the future regarding that?
I would say that's really good future-wise.
Yes.
Because originally, us being a solar component, we worked a lot like other businesses as vendors. So our major goal was finding the right company to match with that actual client. As our company's been growing, we're in a position where we're going to privatize that, where we could be in a position where we know what we're offering because we're offering that value. We can give them the 20-year warranty on inverters. We give them the 20-year warranty on those panels. We give them the best panels on the market and not overcharge them, but know that our company is able to manage those margins and make sure they're going to see those savings 20, 30, 40 years. So for us, that has been the biggest thing for us because having the control to make sure our clients are going to be secure is really a big thing for us because we're a client-based company. Okay, fantastic.
Well, talking about being client-based, on the news the other day, I saw that AT&T and also Time Warner, the approval, I think it looks like they're merging. Does that affect you at all in your business? Because you were talking about with cell phones and things of that nature.
Well, I mean, the landscape is constantly changing. You know, you have new smaller providers, which adds an extra layer of competition. You have the bigger players that are looking to merge too, to change how many actual components are actually out there in the market. But I mean, it's really just staying, we teach and believe in the Canny principle, CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. So once you actually look into, you know, what the landscape is and you're constantly evaluating and researching it, you'll have that information to put people in the right direction.
So it sounds like you don't have any competition with what you do, sounds like.
We try to, I mean, honestly, there's always going to be competition, but we look to smooth it out by having an understanding of where everyone is positioned.
Okay, all right, very good. Now, where do you see Tri-State Direct being in the next 5 years?
I think a lot of what he's saying is what we've done and what we're doing now is to position us for the next 5, 10, 20 years. We can go out, we were started as mostly a sales company, and we can focus on just sales. We did a pivot really early on in our partnership where we said we want to focus on customer service because we said we want to be around for the next 30, 40 years. And the biggest thing that's going to keep you there is reputation. So our company, what we've been focusing on is really relationships with our customer, ease of services, giving them more transparency of the businesses that we're working with, and giving them the option of choosing those companies, but giving them the information where it's right at their fingertips. So we're taking that from more of a talking day-to-day and sitting with a client, but giving them the ability to actually have that on a digital aspect of their home, and us being able to be as Tri-State Direct and Tri-State Solutions, the company that was able to service that.
Very good, very good. Now, you know, as far as marketing is concerned, are you involved with any of the chambers, like the BRBC? There's a Valley Chamber. Are you doing anything with that?
Somewhat, from a capacity of, he can touch it, yes.
Well, I mean, we're always looking to improve our networks. So we've put fillers out there to actually become part, you know, SCORE was one of our great connections because it's like having that business component, the mentorship was something that we do in our day-to-day because not only do we position for customers, we also build partnerships with existing businesses. So having, you know, being seats on the Better Business Council, all these memberships ties in perfectly with what we're doing.
And the reason why I bring that up is because that's a great networking opportunity
Absolutely.
with those companies, and they know people, and just broadens out from there. And especially to our businesses that are taking a look at it, one of the things we always suggest is joining in with the chamber. They always have events, right, that you can connect with and people that you can actually see.
Yeah.
Now, was there any hurdles that you had to overcome in your journey till today?
Yeah, there definitely was. I mean, yeah. We're running Olympics and running hurdles. But, you know, when it came down to it, one of the things that happened early on in our relationship was we were working, we had a partnership with Solar City. Things were going well, and there was a drastic shift where they completely wiped out the entire direct sales market channel. So we had to make a quick adjustment for that. And once we did, we actually found ourselves in a better position because we gained more control, and we had a directional trajectory where we could actually benefit people on our terms. Outside of that, I mean, one of the bigger hurdles is finding the right people to work with, you know, because in our experiences, things aren't always as they seem on the first interview or first contact. So it's really finding the best way to use your energies to get past the people that aren't really focused on the same vision.
And that's definitely because those components are with our day-to-day people and how we transition our business. And then two is, like you were saying before earlier, is being fluent, because those clients, the business changes, Solar City, these different companies taught us that if we're committed to one company and we're not in a position where we can help a client, we're just shoving. I won't say anything bad, but we're not giving them exactly what they need. So we wanted to make sure that we had everything on the board. We're capable of moving at any moment for our clients, and that we're not stuck as a business where someone else can choose our growth and our scalability.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing you didn't say anything bad, because we don't have a beeper on this thing.
Please.
All right. Now, why should actually people come to you to use Tri-State Direct instead of going directly to the provider?
That's a fantastic question. One of the main reasons why that is where we actually bring the most value is because we have options. You know, we've done the research, and like we said before, it's like people don't have all the information in relationship to everything that's out there. So we have the control and have the power to offer products that they can't get direct through providers. We have unique programs and incentives that we offer exclusively that gives people that much more value, that much more control, and more protection when it comes to for promotions and things like that.
And some of those are up to 20%, where if you went to that direct provider, if you called in their website, a mailer, we're going to still be 20% on anything they can offer, just because of relationships we've built, and us having those relationships with our client, they keep the longevity. So we're able to have more power with our members because of that.
All right, very good. Excellent. Now, what are the two operating components of your business? You know, sales and brokering. Explain that.
Yeah, so we do have two components where Mr. Geyer, he handles a lot of our direct sales components and our vendor components. We have other offices that the biggest thing we were able to do is actually understand the market, do the research, broker these contracts where we can help offices in other cities and other states actually do what we can do. So one component is we broker in that aspect, and then our sales channels where we have a digital and direct sales, where Steve is the king of that there.
Yeah, so I mean the sales component that's why this relationship works out so well, because the back end, the relationship building, the negotiating, the brokerage side, Walton handles immensely. The sales side is dealing with the day-to-day people, dealing with the training, the mentorship, and just the overall encouragement of our opportunity. So both sides together equates to where our successes are. It's like finding the right people, showing them how to monetize their past customers, and then with the new reps that are coming in, show them how to change their life, how to be successful, how to have these game-winning mentalities.
All right, very good. See, it is funny. We're looking at each other's eyes. I said, boy, it's like looking at myself there for a second. Great, great. Now, there's a question I wanted to ask too. As far as your components and things of that nature. Oh, this was the question. It sounds like you're not just only in this state; you're in other states too.
We are.
Right.
So.
Throughout the United States, or how?
Well, I mean, the relationships that we have for the actual providers, we have national arrangements, so we can actually offer in all 50 states. We can offer in Puerto Rico. We have situations where we have partnerships in the various states as well. So we are open to expand. That's one of our goals for 5-10 year plan is really to be in more states than we are today. We're primarily on the East Coast. We're looking to expand west. California is huge on solar. They're actually going to be requiring new home construction to be required to have solar installed.
Really?
By the year 2020, yeah. So there's incentives out there in Rhode Island and Massachusetts that make it really advantageous for homeowners as well. So, I mean, we have different setups that actually puts us in position to take advantage of all those individual components in each state.
So this is a big deal.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of the components we were talking about earlier we're working on for our business is to facilitate that. That's why we're going more digital. Our past experience, Mr. Guy, what you said were mistakes. Mr. Guy would run himself thin because we had people in Florida, we had people in Maryland, we had Rhode Island, we had Mass, Connecticut, Jersey, and some multiple teams. So every day he's calling, he's doing Zoom meetings. I need this document. Can you send this? Missing numbers here, payroll, and it was always something. So now everything is digital, and what our platform is being built out is where it's more transparency. So even training, where Mr. Guy would have to go there and do web training, these things are all now on our platform where they can get at their leisure and get those documents and things at a touch.
Right.
So these are growths that we had, and this is what's helping us really make that expansion for these next 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
And onward.
Very good, very good. So you're starting to streamline, and sounds like things are coming together.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, being that Tri-State Direct is a broker, how do you choose which provider that you steer your clients to?
Well, I mean, we look at a couple different factors. We want to look at how they're actually using the particular service that they have now, what their budget allows for, is there going to be any type of changes in the near future in relationship to, are they going to have more people coming in the home, they're going to have people leaving, do they have investment ideas that they actually have to save for? We look at all those components to really see where is the biggest margin we can provide to people, because I mean, that's what I gauge our success on. A lot of people look at, how much money they made. I look to see how many families I can help, how much money I put back into the community, because it's like that has an overall improvement of the area, because, if people have more money, then that they can reinvest inside the community. It's a great self-feeding engine.
Excellent. Now, being in business, especially for our business people that are looking out there, what habits do you suggest that they use to become successful that has helped you?
I would say build habits. That's a big thing for me is, I have my pad where I'm going to write stuff down. I set my agenda for the week, what needs to be done. When I wake up, I have what I'm going to do. When I start my day, what I'm looking at. Actually, the day before, I usually know what's going to happen the next day. So really having habits, having structure is huge for me, for my business, because it keeps me on top of things. He doesn't get to talk junk to me. And so for me, that's really a key for what I do.
Waking up early, getting your exercise in, eating healthy. Meditation is definitely a great thing to clear your mind of, the past stresses. Having goals every single day, having checkpoints, knowing where you can actually put that energy in that you're going to be the most efficient possible.
Because it takes a lot of energy to be in business, number one.
Yeah.
So some of the things you mentioned as far as eating properly, getting the necessary rest, exercise, very important.
I was going to say also, I think our biggest one collectively is communication.
Oh, yeah.
As a new business, learning how to communicate, then communicate effectively,
right.
those things, and constantly communicating. Sometimes it's not like there's an issue. Sometimes you're busy, I'm busy, and we're not communicating, and things are dropping. So making sure we're touching, like a couple of days go by, I haven't heard from Mr. Guy, so I'm like, hey, what's going on? And vice versa. So those things, and it keeps our focus intact. You know, when we know we're fighting together, that's a great thing. You know?
So communication is important.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Now, one of the things we suggest is books, things of that nature. Is there any particular book that you suggest our TV land should take a look at?
I do need to reread a book for myself. I read it a few years ago, and I have it on my desk. It's the John Maxwell. It's the context of it is people meet people, but everyone doesn't connect. So for me, that's very important. I read it a few years ago. It was really helpful to me, and I'm going to reread that one.
And John Maxwell's a popular author out there too.
Yes.
Everybody knows about him. How about you, Steve?
Well, I mean, it's interesting you asked me that because like the book that one of your first books that you actually gave me, Napoleon Hill, Girl with Peace of Mind. I always thought that had a lasting impact on me. He's a great author, and it just really puts you in the mindset of knowing where you should take when you go into the business ideas and opportunities.
Yeah, one of the popular books, Think and Grow Rich, right? That he has out there. Also, another book that highly suggested. Actually, this person back in the early '90s suggested that I get this book, and the name of it is How to Increase Your Own Salary. All right, and that's by Napoleon Hill, and it's out of print. And he had said to actually, you're going to have to do some book searches, go to used bookstores, things of that nature. And it took me about a year or so, maybe a year and a half, because I went back, I had a team, and I was telling them, go find this book, and I thought they were going to get it for me. And so what happened was, a year and a half later, I was telling people about it, and the person said, well, did you try the library? And I said, the guy never talked about that. All right. So I went to the library, got it, we did an interlibrary loan. They got it from Bentley College, actually, and we made copies of it. And then I said, I need to have my own copy. And so they did some book searches, a bookstore out in Fairfield, and they came back, and I paid like $27 for it. A few years later, my office manager was looking for the book online. I think she got it through Amazon, and it was like $300. She bought it.
Wow.
A few years later, a friend from New York, he saw it. It was like $800. And then a few years after that, it was like $2,500.
Should have invested early.
Yeah.
How much is Think and Grow Rich? I have that knowledge.
Oh, you can get that for like $5. But this book I'm talking about is out of print.
Yeah.
I have friends that actually fly around the world to buy books that are out of print. They pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for them. Take, for instance, talking about the value of books, is Bill Gates. Bill Gates paid $63 million for his house. He has the Leonardo da Vinci manuscripts in his house. They're in a glass case. And guess how much he paid for those?
Well, then he paid for his house.
$93 million.
Yeah.
All right. So he understands, because of the thinking of Leonardo, that it makes things happen. Of course, Bill Gates, what he's done with Microsoft, and even what he's doing now. But one of the books that we suggest also to our viewers is The Stuff. I just got this from a friend of mine that suggested it to me. I picked it up actually at Barnes & Noble. But what it's talking about, because I thought when we were first talking about it, I thought it was the stuff that we carry. Everybody has stuff. And I thought, well, I need to read this book so I can learn how to get rid of some of the stuff I got. All right. But here it's talking about the stuff that will help you to be successful. Unlock your power to overcome and challenge, soar, and succeed. Highly suggest this. Put it, actually go to the library. Actually, it just started, so you might not be able to find it in the library. But Barnes & Noble sometimes has these nice sofas, and you can just pre-read it and see if you like it. But you want to increase your success library, which is composing of tapes, videos, CDs. All right, so that way you're getting information that's going to help you to grow and develop in your company. Now, one of the things that we need to find out is, where are you located at?
Oh, so we're actually a local company right in Bridgeport, 800 Union, around the east side end. The old Precision Moore Tool Building.
Ah, okay. Very good. And another quick question. What motivates you guys to keep on going?
We have a unique competition, so we always we challenge each other. So we all have personal goals where we're actually looking to increase the understandings, the actual household name feel of Tri-State Direct. So that's what we're looking to go to. So we want to be one of those household companies that is a one-stop shop for pretty much everyone's needs.
Yeah, and definitely motivating. Like you said, we push each other. We put demands on each other, and then too, I think motivation from our families are big. Like
Yes.
for me, and we talk about our families a lot, is what our past was, what our foundation was, how we were raised, and what we want to leave for our kids is really huge. That's why we say 30, 40 years. This is something I would love to see grandkids are sitting in the office and working at. So that's a big motivation for me.
Yeah, let me tell you, I don't think you guys have grandkids yet, but I do, and that's exciting. It's exciting to see the grandkids and see them growing, going through different stages. Matter of fact, when we were starting this show, it was your son that actually, when I was talking to him, he said, "Well, Poppy, what is your viewership?" And I'm thinking, well, I
to age.
I said, "What is viewership? I'm happy to be on TV." But he knew about that.
Already.
And so that's great that you're thinking about the future. All right, the young minds out there are developing and growing, and we want to help them through reading also. All right, so that way they can have a building blocks.
Sure.
All right, for the future. Well, I'd like to thank you both for being on the show. It's been fantastic, and I'd like to thank you to the viewers out there, our viewership. All right, for joining the Score Business Showcase, and to your success, and to the future. So thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and also Winston, thank you.